Oh, 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 okay. Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your participation in the live stream. I have a very special announcement to start things off. I'd like to announce the winner of the Pirate Wave competition. This is, I don't even know how to say his name. Tias Ortvid? Tias Ortvid? And this man, his submission for the Pirate Wave competition in our server, once again, this is a competition that's going on in the Discord server. So if you go to contests, contest announcements, you can see that Tias has very successfully won single-handedly the Pirate Wave competition. And once again, you should highly recommend checking out his other stuff, his album. But for now, just because he's such a gracious winner and his composition was so good, I'm going to go ahead and play his winning submission to the Pirate Wave contest on our server. So without further ado, here it is, Pirate Wave. Wowzers. Tias, that was incredible. Give yourself a tap on the wrist. You deserved it. Thank you so much for everyone who participated in the contest. Tias, you get a like and a repost. And now, for this coming month, we have a new contest announcement. It's actually for Ninja Samurai House. Okay? So only one submission per user. We're going to make some jazzy, danceable Japanese house bangers, old Ninja Samurai movies, maybe some Wu-Tang shit, who knows. But please go ahead and submit to that contest, and I'm very looking forward to all the submissions for the new new contest for Uncle Joe's Dojo. So excellent work, Tias. Thank you so much. I love the contest. Once again, that was not my idea. The contests were an idea by the good people of the Discord, the admins, all the staff. Shout out to all of you. Thank you so much. You guys are the best. Cool. Awesome. So let's go ahead and keep roasting. Thank you, Tias, once again. Let's go to music production real quick. We're going to go to the subreddit. Know how bad at producing I am. Okay, well, this sounds promising. This is Ferris Wheels 65. Okay, and this is Lucid with Homo Rebbe. So let's take a listen. Here we go. Lucid. Alright, well, I'm gonna go ahead and skip the 30-second lo-fi outro. For the most part, very good work, Lucid. Sounds like, your standard Odessa, um, like Flume, Despacito, Summer Pop, um, Future Bass, Light, lo-fi banger. Couple of things. The first thing is that it's just too long. I mean, especially if you're going to be topping charts with this. Honestly, unless you were going to do something insanely different for the last drop there, I think you could forego it entirely. It's completely unnecessary. Second, a couple of people were pointing out in the comments that you're using a lot of stereo panning. And this is good because your mix sounds wide and three-dimensional and kind of hanging out on the sides. But certain elements are panned hard right, say, for example, your main future bass synths, and certain other elements are panned hard left, where I think what's more conventional for the genre is just having everything be pretty much in the center, just making it really wide. Um, so that's a big thing in terms of the mixing. Other than that, the sound selection is quite good. I think you just need a vocalist for this shit, or at least some vocal chops. I mean, just listen to Shy Girls or fucking that song by Odessa that everybody likes, and that should pretty much tell you everything you need to know. Um, yeah, it's just, I think the main thing is that it's just too long, and it either needs a vocalist, or B, some cool, trendy vocal chops. But other than that, great sound design, cool sonic palette, feel good summer pop, bubbly banger. Sweet, awesome. Thank you so much. Lucid. All right. Peeps roast freely. Thanks. This is Welfare Pimp 86. Um, and here we have what's it gonna be? Welfare Pimp Monk Step. Okay, this sounds promising. I like monks. I like stepping. And let's take a listen. Wowzers. When I saw the title Monk Step, I was like, man, how is this guy going to pull this off? How are we going to combine monks and dubstep? And let me tell you, somehow it worked, sort of. I was very surprised. I've never heard anything like that before. Welfare Pimp, thank you so much for opening me up to a new genre experience. Um, I think the monks and the dubstep. Oh, Florian, thank you so much for the donation. I really, really appreciate it. Shout out Florian Soy. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Um, what I was going to say was I think the monks and the dubstep could be a little bit more in harmony with one another. Right now, it sounds like we have the distinct monk part and then the dubstep part, and there isn't a whole lot of connection in between the two. The transition from the build up to the dubstep both times felt a bit jarring. And maybe perhaps what you could do is maybe introduce certain womps and wubs a little earlier in the build up section so that the transition is a little bit smoother. We're accustomed to the dubstep, so we have a little bit of overlap between the monks and the Skrillex. It's like Skrillex went to a monastery or some shit. Flux, thank you so much. Japanese house, more like weeb house. Got him. Okay, well, thank you so much for that, Flux. I really appreciate it, honestly. Any support is always appreciated. But yeah, I think the Skrillex needed to spend a little bit more time in the monastery before, going full-fledged on the drop there. And with regards to the dubstep sounds, the standard for this genre in terms of mixing is absolute perfection. And unfortunately, because it's so competitive, anything lower than absolute perfection in the mix is just going to make your stuff sound amateur. And as a result, that's the problem here. The mix needs to be dialed in, and I'm sure there's a million Skrillex or Getter or, Dr. Fresh dubstep tracks that you could, put into your project and be able to compare to your track, and that'll tell you everything you need to know in terms of what you need to do with your mix. A couple people pointed this out. The womps sounded like they were loops, like were, I don't know, pre-recorded or something. I think this is just indicative of the mix. The amount of sub is very low. Oh, thank you so much. Vetterly, thank you so much. I really appreciate that for the support. You guys are awesome. Warms my heart, honestly. Um, yeah, anyways, I think two main things is the mixing and really the arrangement, the transitions between the monk step and the Skrillex. But other than that, it's a very novel, interesting genre. I'd never heard of this before, and somehow you did it. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Honestly, put some phaser on the master, you should be good. Okay, Welfare Pimp, I really, thank you so much for that. I call this genre disco trap. Okay, this is by Quinoa Jones, and for those of you who don't know, Quinoa is, I would say, one of the more promising talents on the server, on the Discord, and I'm very excited whenever he comes up with a new edit. Hopefully he doesn't disappoint. Okay, this looks promising. This is Quinoa Jones with BMF. Let's hear it.
Cocaine running in my big vein. Self-made, you just affiliated. I built a star. I think I'm Big Meech. Larry Hoover, getting work. Hallelujah. One nation, under God. Real niggas getting money from the fucking start. These motherfuckers mad that I'm ISIS. Stunt so hard, make them come indict me. I think I'm Big Meech. Look at my timepiece. It's an out of me here, 100 racks at least. Look at yourself, now look at me. You can't see a nigga, I'm what you used to be. Look at it this way, you niggas sideways. Always getting money, my nigga crime pays. So fuck a nigga, I'm self-made. You a sucker nigga, I'm self-paid. It's for my broke niggas, it's for my rich niggas. Got 100 on the head of a snitch nigga. I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, working work. Hallelujah, one nation, under God. Real niggas getting money from the fucking start. I think I'm Big Meech, Larry Hoover, getting work. Hallelujah, one nation, under God. Real niggas getting money from the fucking start. Real niggas getting money from the fucking start.
Wowzers. So apparently Disco Trap is actually just Future House. Who would have thought? Anyways, once again, a very well executed remix, super solid. I would say though, I'm not sure if Rick is the best guy for this, to be honest. Um, I'm not sure if it's because the actual quality of the vocal track sounds like it's ripped from YouTube, or the fact that you had to pitch him up to fit the BPM of your track, the one you're working on. But, to me, honestly, the weakest part of the track is the part that you didn't do, which was the rapping. Um, and so, perhaps you could replace it with another a cappella, or you could just make it an instrumental or something like that. But I mean, this is just a solid house, laid back, future track. Um, I think it would be stronger without the acapella. Or if you do choose to use that same acapella, please try and find a higher quality version because it's just really obvious that this was like ripped from YouTube or some shit. Um, anyways, other than that, all the other elements, the elements that you did do, like the tonal qualities of the sounds, the synths, chords, the drum programming, all very solid. I'm just not sure about Rick for this. Yeah, you could chop a specific part and sampling pieces of Rick's vocals, and that could do it. Vocal chops. But yeah, cool. Quinoa, thank you so much. A couple of people asked me what I've been listening to lately, and I always blank when I have to answer this question. But in terms of SoundCloud producers, a couple of people you guys should check out. One is Valentine. He's one of my favorites. Where is he? SoundCloud, not the movie. So this guy, Valentine. Highly recommend you check him out. Some of his sound design, his kind of futury, huge serum patches are excellent. So highly recommend you check this guy out. He's killing it these days. Another guy I would recommend is Appalachian. He's from Walnut Creek in the Bay. He's like fucking 17 or some shit. He's amazing. He's part of the Lost Dogs crew, one of the most forward-thinking crews, I'd say, in terms of weird left field bass music. So definitely check out Appalachian. He's fucking awesome. See who else. In terms of like non-electronic music, I've been checking out like jazz from the 70s, and the guy who turned me on to this stuff is an artist by the name of Mr. Lies. He put out an album a couple of years ago that was excellent. And yeah, this guy right here. So highly recommend you check out his album Shadow. Really, really fucking good. And then in addition to that, he has really great Spotify playlists. This one is called Heart Food. And on it, I discovered this artist, Eberhard Weber. And he put out an album in like the 70s called The Colors of Chloe. And this is a very excellent ambient, jazzy, classical album that I really, really like. So definitely check out those artists. Okay. Beautiful. All right. Cool. Let's check out a song from the Discord. So let's go to ba 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 ya ba da da ya da 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 da. Roast feedback. Okay, Alfie, let's listen to this. Thank you, James. I'm sorry. So this could have been good. You just need to tune your sample. Please, for the love of God, tune your sample because it's out of tune with all the other synths. As a result, it's just really, really hard to listen to. Anyways, Florian asked the question, when does the arrangement step end and when does the mixdown start? Excellent question. Given the fact that we're all basically working in the box, we have the luxury and the curse of being able to mix as we go, meaning as we're working on the track, as we're recording parts, as we're picking out sounds, we can, EQ and compress and do all that shit while we're in the arrangement process still. Back in the day, this was impossible because everybody was recording real instruments in real rooms, doing real performances on real mics. And so as a result, the mixing process, by definition, had to come at the very end because, I mean, there was just nothing to mix before that. You still needed to record all the parts and shit. Um, so these days, we have the luxury of being able to mix as we go. The problem is, it's very easy to get lost in the sauce. It's very easy to get too deep on the mix while we're arranging, and as a result, not arrange, not do anything creative, and just kind of, spend half an hour tweaking your one serum patch or whatever and getting nothing done creatively. So the question is, how do I know when the arrangement is over and when the mixdown starts? Well, ask yourself, is it too much? Is it too little? Are there too many competing ideas? Or are there too little ideas to sustain the length of the song? Are there any wrong notes? Any performance things you have to tweak? Are you satisfied with all your sounds and all the sound design? Um, any effects that are turned on or off that could keep or get rid of? Basically, is the song done? Um, how do I know when I should put a phaser on the master? Always do it from the very beginning, obviously. Anyways, the traditional mixdown approach, when you're really getting in deep on all the details, should only happen at the very end of the arrangement process when the song is completely done, because otherwise there isn't really a point getting that deep because, the elements you're spending so much time on mixing could end up changing anyways. You could swap them out with something else. So yeah, don't mix until your arrangement is completely done, basically. All right. Cool. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, Fap Lord. Great. Oh, listen to this. This sounds great. All right, Fap Lord, super solid track, man. I'd fap to that all day. Great sound selection, really interesting arrangement. I really liked how you did the surprise drop on the second half. That was super dope. Um, Really, only a couple things that I can think of. I think the mix for sure needs work, and you can very easily solve that by just slapping a couple reference tracks in on the session and just comparing them. Say like I don't know, a sub focus track or a chase and status track or something like that, and just see how they're mixing their instruments relative to one another. So, for example, I would say that your bass, the amount of sub is too much, and the kick feels a bit high pitched. It's, I think, coming in at a frequency that is maybe a bit too high. It's good that it's above the sub, but maybe pitch it down a couple steps so that it's, I think, hitting the root note of the track. And speaking of root notes, um, the bass could use a little bit more movement. Like, for example, the chords change, and half the time the bass doesn't change with it. And it could be an artistic decision, but I think it could just be a little bit more active. And generally speaking, I think a safe bet would just having the bass play the root note of whatever chord is happening on top. Um, and then I think that would benefit the track greatly. Just having the bass be a little bit more active and playing and changing when the chords on top change because they need to be linked, I think. Um, Other than that, I mean, really solid arrangement, sound design. Just work on the mixing and how active the bass is, and this could be very, very promising. Okay, beautiful, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, what do we got here? Jules Chewbacca V1. Let's do that. Beautiful, awesome. So yeah, super solid idea. Once again, great work, great sound design. I don't like the flute at the beginning either, and it sounds like you're gonna get sued if you use that anyways. The drop is a great start. I think you just need to flesh it out, and I don't have any particular ideas on how to do that. Just experiment, play with it. The nice thing about what you have now is that it's sparse enough to support many more musical ideas and variations. So I would just see what you can throw out and see what sticks, and you should be groovy. You'll have trap banger in no time. Cool. Yeah. I don't know exactly how to move on with the idea either. You could introduce some chords, like so, for example, a harmonic section there. You could have a breakdown. Um, I think a great person to study here, someone you reminded me of, is Ikali. He uses a lot of flute, and he's a trap god. So definitely check him out, Ikali. And there's also another artist on SoundCloud called Jules, Guelz, who's actually very similar as well. So definitely check that out. Underbelly create a group on Facebook so we can connect with other producers, man. Just connect here, man. Discord is so much fucking better than Facebook. Facebook sucks. Just join here, okay? All right. And I don't know if you know about this, but Discord has a premium plan, Discord Nitro. Um, and, you know, I don't think it's that expensive. I think it's like $5, right? $5, yeah. I mean, do you know how Discord makes money? Have you ever seen a single ad on Discord? They don't fucking make any money. They just make a great product. So consider supporting Discord. I mean, it's made this possible. It's made roasting each other possible. So I'm definitely gonna get the Nitro subscription today. And I highly recommend you guys do the same. Anyways, all right. Let's do this. Luck. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, beautiful, man. Really great soundscape there. Wet fart dubstep future banger type situation. I would say though that the snare or clap you're using in the later half, especially, is just too loud. It sticks out in the mix too much. And then also, I would say right before the first drop. Where's the first drop? Where is it? There you go. Yeah, see, the thing is, that's weak. I think you need a little bit more space, even just silence right before the drop, so that when it does come in, it really hits you in the fucking balls, okay? You're removing stuff before the drop creates an opportunity where the dynamics are very low. So something very quiet followed by something very loud makes this part, the loud part, seem way, way louder in comparison. Rather, if the part before the drop is already quite loud, the drop will just not make nearly as much of an impact. So definitely removing stuff before the drop, I think, is a useful technique. Because especially in this genre of music, the drop needs to be fucking huge. And especially if you want to get your wet farts across, your dubstep wet farts, you got to make sure that that moment is super impactful. Now, it's a little short. I don't know if there's a reason to extend it. It's under 3 minutes, which is a little short for a dubstep song. But really, the main thing I noticed was that the lack of impact on the drop and the volume of the snare in the second half. Um, anyways, cool. Let's do one more, and then I'm going to go eat something before my next lesson. Um, all right. Build up. Let's just do something cool. Third, here we go. Let's listen to this. Okay. Yeah, once again, very, very solid. Not sure what to do with this one. All the albums you do choose to include are quite good. I was expecting the bass to hit a lower note, so that it's just hitting the minor root over here. Yeah, so right there, you're hitting the major, and I was expecting you, instead of going, I think, two semitones lower, so that it's boom, boom. I don't even know what it is. But that way you'll be playing the minor root rather than what it sounds like to be the major. Um, Other than that, I've heard music like this so many times, dark, trap, instrumental, that it's just not clear what to do with it anymore. Is this going to be an instrumental piece? Or are you planning on having a rapper over it? If it is instrumental, do you plan on extending it because it's a bit short? Um, if you do plan on having a rapper over it, maybe you're going to have to extend it anyways to fit a couple verses on this. It's really just a matter of what you want to do with it, but I think it's a a good start, very solid. Anyways, thank you so much, guys. I'm gonna go eat something before my next lesson, but I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks to everyone who donated. Shout out to my Patreon pals. I'm gonna be scheduling a Zoom meeting with you guys sometime this week, I think, and then please participate in the contest. The dojo contest. The submission challenge this month is once again jazzy danceable house bangers with the Japanese twist. So please submit there. And shout out to the staff. Shout out to everybody on the Discord. Love all of you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day. Peace.